What's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Well, it's clear to me that I'm not going to be able to watch any of the videos that I make because every time I turn the phone on, there's another thing to say. So here we go. Devin Booker, that's what the Nets want. And I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Look, I definitely would ask for Devin Booker. This is Kevin Durant. There's nothing out of the question. There's no one out of the question. There's nothing unreasonable. Whatever your craziest package is, whatever the most wild thing you can think of to put together, I think it's a reasonable offer for this particular player, Kevin Durant. Even at this age, even after the Achilles, his talent level is not fathomable at all. So we understand that this is not just regular old superstar. This is one of the great players of the great players. So when you talk about the trade that it's going to take to get him out of here, you think about the trade it would take to get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of Milwaukee or something like that. Like the level, that's where we're at. So there's nothing crazy about asking for Devin Booker. In fact, yeah, that's fair value, and I'd probably ask for a pick on top of Devin Booker. That's how real that is. However, as I told you guys, I don't think, based on what I've been listening to in regards to the Phoenix Suns, I don't actually think Robert Sarver really wants to do this. I don't. Just my own speculation, based on what was said earlier today on ESPN about where he's at, based on what the Ayton situation is, them saying that they don't see him as a max player. I don't think he wants to be in the luxury tax for much longer. I don't think he's looking to make that team be like that great with his dollars. Now, if they happen to stumble on some great talent, again, you can see the billion-dollar potential that KD brings you, and all you see is the green. You don't see no red there. So if I'm Sarver, I'm probably like, you know what? Yeah, this might be a good idea. But at the same time, as to where maybe the 29 other teams are saying, God, hurry up, let's get it done. I think he may actually be on some because of where his team is at and what the reputation has been for years about him not really wanting to spend a lot of money. So while that might be an attractive destination based on Devin Booker and Chris Paul, KD, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, we know he loves that type of he likes that type of basketball play. That's like Golden State, Steph Curry and him and Klay Thompson. So we know what his vision is for basketball. But I just don't think that's the best place for them to play. Now, I also heard of a report saying that he and Kyrie would still like to play together. They just want to play somewhere else. Enter Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, listen, I don't know how the Lakers feel about AD, right? But for the right price, I would most definitely trade Anthony Davis. Kevin Durant is obviously the right price. Like, now, if I'm being real with you, for what it is that we are, I'm not entirely certain that's the best swap of players. I don't know that the Lakers are a better defensive team if we make that move. I don't know that it makes us better. But you have to ask yourself where AD is in his career at 28 years old. Because he doesn't look 28. He looks like he's older than that. He plays like he's older than that. And if he doesn't come back in better shape, he's going to be represented in a body that's older than that. So if you believe he's regressing, then maybe you think it makes sense to move him. As I just said to start the video, there's probably nobody more valuable in the league that has ever been traded than Kevin Durant. So even if you don't think he's the greatest fit, you still want literally one of the most valuable pieces ever. Right? You already got LeBron James. You bring Kevin Durant to the situation, and you have the two best players of the generation. Anthony Davis, when we acquired him, was arguably a top 10 player. And he was well on his way to being somebody that we thought could get to this level. Where KD is, that's far and away beyond that. Far and away beyond that. And so we know that. That's not a question. That's not up for debate. That's not belittling AD's talents or his greatness in any way. It's just acknowledging exactly what Kevin Durant brings to the table. So if I'm the Lakers, I feel a responsibility to kick the tires on KD independent of LeBron James, as already said in the last video, independent of AD and what his value is and what he means to me. It's just because Kevin Durant is on the block. And then he said he wants to play with Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving obviously wants to play here. So if I'm the Lakers and I'm Rob Pelinka, I've already made the biggest splash ever. I might try to make the second biggest splash ever, or top that splash by acquiring an even more valuable player than the last player I acquired. Do you know how good that looks on my resume if I'm Rob Pelinka? Like I said, I always think like a GM, you guys. If there's any chance I can win the KD sweepstakes and I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to tell you right now, I am going to do that. And I'll let you all think about what you think of that later. Because I'm for sure the guy that traded for Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant in a matter of 3 years. I'm that guy. So, if Jeanie gives me the okay, I am sorry. I'm making that move just off of the strength of what it does for me as a GM. Now, if I'm the Lakers, if I'm Jeanie Buss, again, I have to go back to my think tank of people and ask them what they think of AD. Because he is the younger player. And believe it or not, this is going to sound silly, but I mean it. He's the healthier player because that Achilles injury ain't to be played with. I'm a strong believer that Achilles injuries are not to be played with. And so in my mind, AD is the less risk than KD based on that truth. Although the field will not agree with me. And probably shouldn't. But I'm going to stand on that hill by myself because I know what Achilles injuries can do. And I think KD has done a fantastic job of bouncing back and making people very much forget he has that damn thing. But I have not. And I'm working that into his price if I'm trading for him. But that's just me. So, with that being said, my focus as a Laker is to kick the tires on KD and see if I can make that trade. If I can get AD and Russell Westbrook's contract out of here for KD and Kyrie so they can continue playing with one another. With LeBron James, whether they like it or not, I'm going to make that happen. If I got to throw in the 27 pick to make that happen, I'm throwing in the 27 pick to make that happen. I don't know if I throw in the 29 pick. I would have to evaluate what that value actually is. I'm not going to commit to that. But that 27 pick, AD, Russell Westbrook at 47 mil, I will ship that out. If I got to attach something else, I will consider just like the 29. I'll consider what all that looks like and make a reasonable decision in regards to that. But that's what's on the table right now. If I'm gonna put that on the table for Brooklyn to look at. I'm gonna put that on the table, man. Because if I'm Jeanie Buss, there's no better player than the one you already have. I mean, you got LeBron James. Who's the other greatest guy of the generation? It's KD. And I think when you have that type of length, obviously LeBron James' length is crazy. Obviously KD's length is crazy. Yes, you're losing Anthony Davis, but you're also thinking about bringing in Mo Bamba maybe. That type of length, that type of shooting, that type of synergy, and most importantly, and this is my own thing, I'm going to make KD and LeBron James squash that Cold War they've been having for the last 16 years. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Why the hell is Miami on your list? You trying to go there and win in Miami, huh? Yeah. Look, that Cold War got to stop. I think they can do more together, especially in their old age, than apart. Why? Because look at the field, y'all. Look at the field. You can't tell me that LeBron James and Kevin Durant can't win more together than they can apart. You can't tell me that, especially when you got these big old long guys coming down the pipeline. Now, preferably, I would love to keep Anthony Davis as well for that same reason, but obviously that's impossible and nobody's considering being stupid here. But like, for them two, just them two, that's probably how you're going to be able to keep up with the field as you both age. You got to do it together. Or you don't. There are other fits as well, but who do you believe in more? I asked both of them, who do you believe in more? And I challenge them to come up with somebody else beside each other. I challenge them to. Because I don't think they're going to be able to honestly do that. I think they may actually put another name out there. Maybe. But I know as they lay their head down at night, the answer will be each other. Bron going to say KD, and KD going to say Bron. Because they know each other was that dude for this generation. They know that. So I know they like competing against one another. Maybe they want to keep that thing going, but they're going to run into a bunch of young teams like the Pelicans and Timberwolves and OKC with these long lead dudes, and they're going to be worn out and sent home. That's what's going to happen to both of these guys if they don't find themselves in a situation where they can dominate. And I think the best way to consider dominating when you're them, team up. Team up. And bring the boy Kai with you. That's how you do it. And I would love to make, like I said, I'd love to make AD a part of this, but the only way I can make him a part of this is if I say the cap doesn't exist and somehow make money come out of the sky or something. It just doesn't work. It's not possible. And if I got to choose between AD and KD, like I said, for the fit, it may actually be AD. But based on my needs as an organization, the Lakers, my view on AD is I don't trust him to stay healthy. Every time he hits the floor, I have an anxiety attack. Like literally. I'm wondering if the man's hurt for good every time he drops. And so that's my position if I'm the Los Angeles Lakers organization on that player. Just like the Nets organization's position on Kyrie is that he's somebody we can't rely upon. We don't know if he's going to show up, etc., etc. That's their position. If I'm over there, I have that position on him. Since I'm a Laker fan, I have an entirely different position. It doesn't mean that I don't see your position or even agree that it could be possible, but I'm working into the equation who I am when I bring that player to me. Is that wise way going? I don't know. Sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't. But for the sake of what we're doing, we're just going to think this way. Because I think that's what's happening. These teams want to bring these players to their situation in hopes of making things better for being themselves in those situations. So, look, give me Kyrie Irving, KD, I'll give you AD, 27, Russell Westbrook's 47, and then we'll work out the particulars. If I got to throw in a little more, throw in a little more. Maybe you got to throw in something. I don't know. Whatever. We'll work that out and see if you can match it with a better deal somewhere else, which I'm sure you can. I know you can. That's why I don't think KD's are realistic. You can get a better deal. But I'm going to put that on the table. And if for some reason KD says, I want to play with Kyrie, you got to take my deal. And that's what I'm banking on. So, I don't know. If they want to play together, he can make it happen. You just got to deal with Bron. KD. So, yeah, y'all squash that, man. Come through. Because at the end of the day, if y'all going to be the Pantheon greatest, all this great, this, that, and the third, KD, man, you know what jersey, your jersey needs to go up there with us. If you want to be considered one of them dudes like that, fix all of this nonsense. People saying, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that, he ain't that. You make sure that your number 35 goes up. If we can put 35 up there, I'm not sure. That might be somebody already. Whatever. Put your number up. Durant next to Kobe, next to James, next to Abdul-Jabbar, next to Johnson. All these names that are going up there, I'm pretty sure we're putting James up there, by the way. That's why I said that, because I know he's going up. Powell needs to be up there too, by the way. Get my man number 16 up. Also, while I'm talking, there are other names that should go up. Cooper needs to go up. And I got two that I know not everybody's going to agree with. But I just want to acknowledge that maybe they should have their name signatures in the floor or something. Acknowledge them in a different way if you don't want to put their number up. But Derek Fisher and Robert Horry need to have some type of acknowledgement because they've won too much. When you consider Robert Horry has 7 rings, 3 with us, hit big shots that we wouldn't have won them rings without him, and you consider Derek Fisher, starting point guard for 5 NBA championship rings. What else do you need to hear? Kobe didn't win a single championship without him. What are we talking about? We do understand that Kobe never won a single championship without Derek Fisher as his starting backcourt mate. Derek Fisher left us, went to Golden State for a bad year, went up to Utah, and they went to the Western Conference Finals. We was in the dumps. He came back, we immediately started winning again. Somebody tell me that's not valuable, man. Somebody tell me that I don't deserve to go up or something. Something? I don't know. I've seen a couple people wear number 2 since then. Ain't really sit right with me. Just want to put that out there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's almost time. It's almost 3 o'clock. I'm installing, filibustering enough, trying to make it to this deadline moment so we can start getting some real news. It's not as close as I thought, actually. We got about 20 minutes, but whatever. Point is, I'm going to go back and listen and watch whatever this is, laugh about it, and then hopefully we'll have some news follow it. BDF44, thank you all for watching. I'm out.